Steele County there, just north of Blooming Prairie. So anybody that's in and or around or ahead of this blue on this map, please seek shelter immediately. That's some very intense wind. Chris?
Yeah, a few reports to pass along, and I just want to mention Freeborn County, you're now cleared out of any warnings in your area. Warnings have been updated anywhere along this line and out ahead. You have about a half of an hour until we get all the way up here with this storm to be seeking shelter. These are racing. A couple of reports coming in, 59-mile-per-hour wind gust out of Leroy, 1 mile to the west. Specifically there. Also, this is technically out of our area, but I do want to pass it along because it is significant. Morristown, that's up in Rice County, so off to our north and west. Measured wind gust of 75 miles per hour.
Wow.
So this whole line has those pockets in there that are going to produce those extreme winds. Also, another report coming in 1 mile to the south and east of Alden. We have power poles down in that vicinity. Spencer?
I have a couple reports as well that I've found just coming in. Austin with a reported 60 miles per hour. Also, we have reports of, I'm not sure if this was mentioned yet, reports of trees down in the Conger area in Freeborn County as well. Not exactly sure how many are out to the significance of them, but those have been reported at this time.
Okay, Mitchell County, 1 mile south and east of Mitchell, reports of farm buildings flattened.
Wow.
So reports of farm buildings flattened 1 mile southeast of Mitchell. All along this line, we have the potential, I would say, to see anywhere pop up around 80 miles per hour. We've seen that. Jim, another report. There's this line that we're concerned with.
We're talking about the line, and I just want to focus real quick on the back part of the line here. Things are settling down, but when we turn on the velocity, the wind is starting to somewhat pick up. You can see still pretty strong around the Mason City, Manly, say Freeborn or Northwood area as well. This is what we were talking about all morning. Once the storm passes, we're still going to see these winds build in behind it for the rest of the night. So please be very safe. We'll see some damage to trees. We already have heard that. The strong winds coming in behind this storm as it departs could loosen those up, if not break them off a little bit more. So I just want to touch base, again, looking at that very intense wind making its way across southern Dodge. Highway 14 is what you see right here. I'll just go ahead and kind of highlight that. There's 14. Right now the strongest wind is south of 14, but it is moving. I'll loop this just a little bit. It is moving off towards the east-northeast at an extremely fast rate. So everybody in Dodge County, I would say the western half of Olmsted County and Steele County as well, need to be seeking shelter right now. Even though we're not seeing any tornado warnings for those locations in particular across the Highway 14 corridor, this is very intense wind, as we've heard, can do some pretty intense damage. Chris?
Jim, this coming in from a viewer. Heartland took a direct hit. Bank has severe damage. Multiple houses damaged. This is coming in from police scanner activity, but it would mesh well with some of the reports that we have seen so far. So while unconfirmed by us here at ABC 6, we do feel compelled to pass along some of those unconfirmed reports. I want to highlight, Jim, before we come to you, let's take a look at the status on where these storms are. Currently, that tornado warning continues into eastern Howard County. A spin up possible there, but this entire line now currently stretched from basically Protivin to Cresco. We get up to the Davis Corners, Lime Springs area, Leroy, Grand Meadow to Hayfield, and then Dodge Center, Owatonna, and then stretching up to Faribault. This is really anywhere inside some of these more intense cells is where we're finding those winds to be their most robust and easily. Now, it's been proven time and time again so far this evening that some of these stronger wind gusts, awfully turbulent in this stretch, are finding a way to make their way down to the ground. I'll say some of the strongest winds, at least being measured on radar, anywhere from the Leroy to Cresco vicinity right now, especially centered over Lime Springs. If I'm looking at this radar picture objectively, I would say that tornado risk is over Cresco right now. You need to be seeking shelter. Sorry, it's just a little bit off screen on my table. Lime Springs, you see some enhancement of the wind in just to the north and west of Leroy too. Let's continue to go up this line, and you'll see it's not necessarily cupless, but you can definitely see where things are turbulent. That worst of the wind getting near Hayfield back towards Blooming Prairie. At this point, some of the shearing effect there. We've transitioned to a different National Weather Service site, so this is way up high in the sky. Near Hayfield, though, we did have a measurement of 50 mile per hour coming in for a report through the National Weather Service. A lot of these areas now, the individual line that we'd be watching for those spin-ups is there kind of approaching 218. But there are a lot of different pockets all within this line that we continue to find have that potential to get that wind gust up there, Jim.
Yes, we have a new report coming in. This was just 2 miles northeast of the city of Floyd. A grain truck was blown over, damage in Rudd as well as Marble Rock, and it says there's some sort of structure has blown onto the main street in Marble Rock, and that was, where we were hearing about the train tracks being torn up around the Rudd area. That's kind of what I'm centering in here. There's that Marble Rock you saw populate just a little bit ago. There it is. So please, just an indication of the damage that is being produced by these storms. Numerous reports of wind damage to houses 5 miles northeast of Marble Rock. Stewartville emergency manager at 7:36 reports power outages. Grand Meadow 3 miles south of there. A train spotter reports a gust of 83 miles per hour in Grand Meadow. That's in Mower County if you're not familiar. So please, folks, Chris highlighted the wind with that storm.
Measured too, not estimated.
Right.
That is measured.
That is a confirmed report that measured a very strong wind with this line of storms. And right now, that leading edge, where we're going to see the strongest wind, is now making its way into parts of Olmsted County and especially Fillmore County, now exiting Mower County. Chris?
No, Jim, you go ahead and keep talking here for a second.
Okay.
I need to relay some information.
Sure thing. We have a new tornado warning just issued for Fillmore County. This is going off of that one that was in effect for parts of our northeastern Iowa communities. Right now it's for Fillmore County. You can see it here until about 8:15 or so. I'm just going to switch over to this computer real quick. This new tornado warning is in effect until, as I mentioned, 8:15. If you're in the vicinity of this storm, please seek shelter immediately. Now, it is radar-indicated tornado, but it's capable of producing a tornado, this line of storms. It's moving off to the northeast extremely fast. And one area that I'd be really concerned about, just looking at the radar picture real quick here, is this little notch on the Minnesota-Iowa border, just south of Harmony there. You can see it on the reflectivity. And as I go ahead and turn on the velocity scan, we'll likely see some kind of rotation in that area. Not really looking the greatest, but certainly some spin is there, a potential tornado. So please, please, Harmony, get to your safe place right now. Bristol, it's in your area right now. Preston, Wayland, everybody in this sliver of south central and then far northeastern Fillmore County. If you're in this red area, this is the place you need to be in your safe place right now. Pilot Mound, including you, Rushford as well, just out of the Mabel area, but please seek shelter immediately. That is in your vicinity. If we can go ahead and take the scan converter computer real quick, go ahead and put that back up, Spencer, please. This is, I believe, just east of Manly, Iowa. Damage being reported by a Nelson Media Company. You can see, again, Manly, Iowa. This is some kind of debris on, it looks like, Highway 9, again, from the Nelson Media Company. So thank you very much for sharing that on Twitter, and thank you, Spencer, for keeping tabs on that as well. Let's go back to Max 1. There it is, the newly issued tornado warning for Fillmore County until 8:15 or so. So for the next, say, 35 minutes, you want to be in your safe place. These storms are moving very fast at about 70 miles per hour. So I'm going to go ahead and just put a track on this storm. If you're in the vicinity of it, I can't stress it enough, now is the time to get to your safe place. So watch out. Harmony 7:43 in the next 5 minutes or less. Winona 8:29. Rushford around 8:09. Chris, do you have anything? Or Spencer, real quick, what do you have to add?
Got a couple things also coming out of Austin just to kind of prove how much these sustained winds are with this thunderstorm here. Power's obviously out. There was a flagpole that was apparently sheared off and some flying debris that's also flying around in Austin as well, which is probably the same for several other communities given the significant wind speeds that we are dealing with. Power outages also in Lisle, and we've seen some power outages start to flicker in Stewartsville, Owatonna, and even a couple in Rochester as we're starting to see this. Jim.
Yes, before we get to Chris, I just centered in on this this tornado warning. You can see that really that couplet there getting a little more tight on that Minnesota-Iowa border near Harmony. So just a really good indication there is some very strong rotation within that storm. And if you remembered when we were looking at the velocity or the radar picture, the reflectivity, it is right around these little inflow notches on the leading edge of this very powerful line of storm. So anytime we see that, these little couplets, you can really see it well defined here on the leading edge just by 139, Highway 44 in southern Minnesota. Harmony, Preston, be on guard. And also west of Preston, kind of seeing one to your west. Please be safe. Chris.
Yeah, report of damage, and let me get to it here so I don't mix this up. Reports of some damage south and east of Hayward. Trees down, barns, power lines are down. And so that's coming in from one of our ABC6 weather spotters out there. So Hayward, some reports of some damage. Again, this is well in the not so distant past. Is still finding anywhere in here. We've had reports out of Claremont, Dodge Center of those winds getting upwards, if I remember correctly, 50 to 55 miles per hour. Yes, 50 and 53 miles per hour respectively. And these are in kind of these cells that just don't look all too intense. So anywhere about Byron, Cass, and western reaches of Rochester. And then in this line as it dips down into Fillmore County, I will say the most intense area looks right around where that tornado warning is. We're getting that rear inflow to pop into view there, and I'll go ahead and highlight that once again, get the line drawn in, and so that wind is just pushing into the backside of this cell and driving it out forwards, racing through Olmsted, Fillmore, Dodge, Steele, Howard counties, especially Mower, still need to be into your safe spaces. So especially watching near the state line right now, that's the area of greatest concern. So many reports coming in, it's almost to the point where we can't keep up with them.
Right.
Perhaps we start picking and choosing some of the most dangerous ones. Jim, what do you have for us?
This is a new one. This was from 709, so a while ago. Heartland in Freeport County, emergency manager reporting heavy damage to a bank and several homes. So that is significant damage, folks, if it's a structure like a bank or even just a home. So please heed these warnings.
We passed that along about 10 minutes ago.
Okay.
But yeah, it does look like that we've had some damage really scattered all the way through the area. So we're getting this area into Fillmore County a lot closer to the radar site, so we can see it a little bit more refined. There's a little spin there I'd be watching here, and then getting here and towards Harmony. Harmony seeks shelter, Preston as well. This one's going to be racing through. At minimum, you're looking at the damaging winds looking through. Newest scan coming through, kind of splitting between Preston and Harmony as this one races north and east. And then just south and west of Harmony, I'd be watching too. So I'm going to go ahead and put the warning in on this map and see where we're at with respect. And yeah, it's right there, smack dab in the middle. Harmony, this one's going to be in here in the next minute or two. Seek shelter now with respect to that tornado warning. But again, it's more than just a tornado tonight. All along this line, the winds are there. So many reports to pass along. There's a little bit of a notch, it appears, coming in on this side. That could be the updraft coming into it. Not quite underneath that couple that I've been watching, but the way how strong the winds are here for tonight, we could see that deviate over a short distance as you move up through the sky. Jim, looks like you have a track.
Yes, I put a track on that for the folks at home. Again, I put it on that centered where that more intense rotation is around the Harmony area. Harmony, safe place right now, long story short. Same with Rushford, 8:13, estimated time for you folks, 8:33 Winona. As Chris pointed out, and I'm just going to go ahead and zoom in a little bit more, and I'll try to highlight some of these problem areas, if you will. We're seeing some of these little bit of these areas of weak rotation, some stronger rotation near Bristol, Harmony as well. This is indicating what we were really concerned about when we were talking about these quick spin-up tornadoes on the leading edge of this line of storm. So please heed this tornado warning if you are in Fillmore County for at least the next half hour or so. Like Chris mentioned, not only is the tornado threat there, obviously, but that wind has been extremely problematic and very damaging all across the area. There's the reflectivity. You can see that notch Chris was talking about just to the southeast of Harmony. Spencer, yes, do you have anything to add?
I have a reported wind gust of 68 miles per hour at Dodge Center Airport.
Okay, there you go. Again, Dodge Center, let's take the radar there. It's not looking quite as impressive per se on this particular scan, but certainly the wind is really howling all across the area. Now, I am a little concerned with Dodge Center around Casson. Starting to see a couple, just like in Fillmore County. Now Dodge County, seeing a few of these little areas of rotation starting to be detected around just north of Highway 14, just south of West Concord, right on top of Casson. So if you're within this area, please seek shelter, even though it's not a tornado warning just yet. Concord, West Concord, Milton, I'm going to kind of put Byron even, it's getting close to you folks, New Haven, and also just to the far northwestern corner of, say, Olmsted County. So I'm going to go ahead and take those off and zoom out this picture just a little bit more, just trying to see if we have any more of these little spin-ups being detected. And I'm not really seeing any other ones at this time. So we'll put the reflectivity back on and show you this very powerful line of storms as it continues to race its way across southeastern Minnesota, starting to exit our northeastern Iowa communities. I'll take you down there. Again, it's just exiting the Cresco area. That's certainly good news. Looking pretty quiet aside from maybe some stratiform rain behind it. And same for south central Minnesota. So really the area of greatest concern, Chris, I would say southeast Minnesota at this point.
Okay, a couple of reports near Harmony. I'm sorry, I jumped out of the room.
That's fine.
You may have covered this, but a funnel cloud reported 1 mile south of Harmony. We just highlighted that area of concern. It'd already be through Harmony. You need to be seeking shelter. 54 miles per hour, the latest gust out of Austin. We also have a report out of Dodge Center. This is measured 70 miles per hour.
Yes.
1 mile to the south and east. And this is out of the airport in town. So again, this is Casson, Byron, getting into Rochester at this point. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can pull up either Broadway or Cascade. Let's go Cascade first. I'll take it on my computer, Spencer. You don't have to worry about that. But perhaps you'll need to cycle it through and take a peek outside. So this would be in the area that is impacted the earliest. And at this point, I'm not seeing a lot of movement there.
No, it
appears
looks like
to
it
be
froze up. Yeah,
car headlights there, so I would say that we lost
yes.
Our ability with this cam. 1 second here, let's see.
We can go ahead and take maybe the Rochester tower cam, and this would be a good one to take because
Here, I got it.
the Apache Mall one, we can see some lights kind of swaying there.
Mm-hmm. Okay, this is going to be our Broadway Plaza tower cam. It's not into town just yet, but it's not too far out. So we're going to be watching these tower cams closely. You want to show that one?
If we can go ahead and take the scan converter image. You notice that yellow light there just kind of swaying, just an indication that the wind, and you can see the rain really coming down as well with the parking lot lights. And it's even shaking a little bit as this intense wind is now coming into and through the Rochester area proper.
We can hear the sheets of rain on the roof here, the intense wind that's coming through. So it's now entering Rochester. Spencer, an update?
I just wanted to add, on top of everything that you guys just said, the visibility by the seconds is getting worse and worse on our ABC
Newly issued tornado
cam.
warning. Sorry, Spencer, we got to take this.
Okay.
It is for Olmsted County. Watch out, Marion. This is, again, that one problem area. We were watching that rotation. It's just to the southeast of Rochester, but still extremely close to the Rochester area. So please, if you are in this area, seek shelter. Pleasant Grove, Marion, Viola, you can see all those counties and communities in the path of this storm. I'm going to put the velocity on, and you can see the area of greatest concern right there near Simpson, just south of Marion. Not obviously looking terribly impressive, but that would be my bet for the rotation within this storm.
RST to 67 knots, which would take that close to 80 miles per hour.
Yes.
Just doing a quick conversion in my head. Tornado warning very close by, so that's something we're watching. 67 knots out at RST, so we will watch This in particular, Marion, extreme southeastern side of Rochester. Possible tornado. This is radar indicated, but that would be the couplet we're watching. Continuing on towards Viola. It looks like it should pass north of St. Charles, but you get up towards Plainview, the Elgin area, and carrying on towards the Mississippi River. Intense winds should be in this line right now from Casson to Byron, the western reaches of Rochester, and then down to the Marion Road area, Stewartville, Chatfield. It's going to be coming right into your region here shortly. So
I put a track on it if we want to take the next one real quick.
yeah, go ahead, Jim.
754 Marion, 805 Viola, and again, this is just based on a 75-mile-per-hour northeast movement speed of this storm, and I put that track starting right where that rotation is. Plainview, 815, Lake City, 835. So sirens are likely sounding across, again, this area in Olmsted County. If you're hearing those sirens especially, please seek shelter immediately. And now if you are outside, and Chris started talking about this, if you're outside of this tornado warning, the western fringes, you can still see some very intense winds with this line of storms as it's coming through.
Yeah, let's talk about them.
Yes.
I have the gusts here from our automated sites. This is RST, 77 miles per hour. We're getting out at St. Mary's, 44, 24 miles per hour downtown Rochester, but these will likely update as we're now kind of getting into that most intense area of wind, that tornado warning just off to the east. You can see that rear inflow coming into it. That would be that area driving it forward and creating these little turbulent eddies, and that's really what it is. We have so many of them that we've seen tornado warnings come and go, and we've had to have at least had close to 10 tornado warnings so far. Even some confirmed in northern Iowa. Haven't confirmed anything out of Minnesota, but there's so much going on. It certainly is possible at this point. So intense winds right now, especially over Olmsted County, Rochester included on that. And I would even say back towards Casson, Byron, Hayfield, you're still into the warning there. Chatfield, you're getting into the heart of this system. And I would say that biggest area, there's 2 areas of concern, heck, maybe even 3 down into Fillmore County, where we're looking at significant tornado signatures. So just north and east of Preston, I'll go ahead and highlight those for you here. There's 3, and then we get northeast of Harmony, and I would also say there's another little one right in here. So that corresponds nicely with the signatures I was seeing on the radar right here, and then again just east of Preston. So there's multiple little eddies in this, and this is overall probably the strongest appearing thunderstorm we have right now. Also damaging wind in eastern Fillmore County. This is not an area to go out to try to see these tornadoes. We all know this gets down into the bluff territory. You're not going to see anything. It is extremely dark. Please seek shelter right now. Some of the reports that we've seen coming in tonight are buildings that have been flattened, railroad tracks being ripped up, wind gusts getting upwards of 80 miles per hour, multiple wind gusts up that high. This is nothing to ignore. You need to be seeking shelter at this point, Jim.
Yes, I just centered it again around the tornado warning for Olmsted County, and there it is, that couplet, the rotation, the area of concern, passing just north of Marion now. So Eota, Viola, you guys are next in line. Highway 14 between Rochester and Eota, I-90, it just crossed, right over I-90 not too long ago. So if you're in the path of this storm, again, get to the basement, interior room, or closet, please. Please be safe and heed the warning. And we just got a new report, 2 miles east-southeast of Casson, thunderstorm mesonet. So again, this is legit. 72-mile-per-hour wind gust reported there. A train spotter in Olmsted County also reporting a gust of around 60 miles per hour, all coming within this powerful line as it's blasting through the area. Chris.
Yeah, Jim, a lot going out there. We're trying to take a look at some of our ABC6 weather spotters, what they're saying, just information overload, so many different places to go and seek that information. This continues to be the most intriguing aspect when it comes to possible tornado, but then again, there's also that area up towards Rochester, the southeastern side of town, where there is also another little enhanced area of circulation being noted in there. Rushford, you need to be seeking shelter. So getting north of the crossroads of 52 at 90, that's where that tornado warning for Olmsted County is at the moment. And then northeast of Preston, that area is just screaming right now with a big signal that there is possibly something going on
also
there.
Northwest of Lanesboro, watch out, there's another little signal there. And you can see now, if you want to take Max 1, we just got a new scan, and this is very impressive, right to the northwest of Lanesboro. I'll go ahead and just kind of circle it. That's where we're really concerned with the rotation for that tornado warning for Fillmore County. So Lanesboro, it's to your northwest, still seek shelter. Anybody right around, it looks like 250 and 30, Pilot Mound, that includes you folks, please seek shelter immediately. You are in the path of this storm. So again, there's 250 north and southbound. There's Highway 30 and then Pilot Mound. And again, this area right here, northwest of Lanesboro. And also Lanesboro, even though the rotation isn't necessarily right on top of you, but we're seeing some very, very strong wind with this line of storms blasting through Lanesboro and also approaching Peterson. Spencer, yes?
I just read a post from one of our ABC 6 News weather spotters. Apparently we have a confirmed tornado in Heartland, and apparently there was major damage in the city. It's almost impassable at the moment. Multiple fire and rescue departments on the scene.
Okay. Something significant, and you said that was Heartland and
Yes,
Northwestern.
Heartland.
That lines up very
Yes.
well with where we had that tornado warning move through. So significant damage reports in Heartland. Please avoid the area. This is not a time to go look at some of that damage. Still a couple of active tornado warnings here. It appears Mitchell, Rudd, just a whole slew of communities likely looking at damage right now. And the concern is over Dodge, Olmsted, Fillmore County here locally. I would say Steele County, you're likely in the clear with everything that's going on, but you see where these storms are and some of the wind gusts that we have seen. Now officially 78 miles per hour at RST.
Wow.
Spencer, you have a report for us.
Oh, that's what I was going to say, is that the 78 mile per hour report.
Okay, so we're there. Looking at New Hartford, Minnesota, that's in Winona County, so 3 miles southwest of Nodine. We do have a funnel cloud spotted there. So a lot of action still being reported. Train spotter in Rochester of 60 miles per hour, Casson 72. I believe we've covered that one. But there's still a lot of wind cutting through our region right now. 2 tornado warnings, a lot of individual, and we notice it's wide. There's multiple spins being noted in here. So a lot of action right through Olmsted County. This is now into the northeastern side of Rochester, getting out towards Dover, Iota, seeking shelter. Look at the extent of this newly issued tornado warning.
Wow.
That's going to take it all the way into Trempealeau County, way up towards Arcadia, Rochester as well. The strong wind. We heard it on the roof here with the sheets of rain going across.
Coming down.
Fortunately, we still have power, able to continue on with you, but significant wind still all in this line at this moment. So we'll pass along the reports as we get them, but this is a tough time to get those reports. Based on how many that have come in, I'll get to you in just a second, Jim. Based on how many that have come in, you know there's going to be more. It's dark. We can't see everything just yet. Tomorrow is going to be a rather extensive day in just surveying how much damage actually resulted from these storms, and we're not done yet. There's still a lot of active weather ahead for tonight, and at the end of our storm coverage, we're going to highlight that for you. And there's still concerns for the rest of tonight to get through. Certainly this one is going to go down as a historic storm system. It's going to be ingrained in your head for years to come. This is going to be a night in December, 10 days out from Christmas, that many of us are never going to forget. Jim?
Yes, I just wanted to touch base real quick. You were talking about all the damage. We're going to see more, obviously, when the sun comes up. But as we're driving, if you have to do any kind of driving post-storms, please be careful. I mentioned this earlier. The storms will clear out, but that wind is really going to pick up overnight tonight. So be on guard for more falling branches. Some branches were, maybe broken, if you will, through the storms, but they didn't fall. We could see some of that fall, and also watch out for downed power lines. Obviously, report those to 911 if you do see any in your vicinity. There's the tornado warning still in effect for now. I would really say the worst of it. The big area of concern is now exiting Olmsted County, moving into the Plainview, just around the Zumbro, or I'd say Highland area as well. So watch out if you have any family or friends just to the northeast of Olmsted County. I would anticipate maybe that warning to be extended farther to the northeast. You can see it's now basically riding the Olmsted County line, but still looking at some pretty sharp contrast in colors, and there's still that spin just to the west of Rushford and Peterson, between, say, Peterson and Pilot Mound, right there on between Highway 16, 250, and 30. That's a potential tornado there. Obviously, it's dark. You can't tell if it's on the ground or not. So if you're in the vicinity of Peterson, Pilot Mound, seek shelter immediately, and also just north and east of there as it crosses into those counties just to the north and east.
Did you get Iota? Sorry, I was...
No, I did not. You're
okay,
correct.
a report out of Iota that a possible tornado car has been tossed by strong winds, and that lines up well with being right into this tornado warning. Notice how long these are going out, so sustaining themselves. And they may be brief. We form a new one here or there. It's awfully spotty where these spin-ups are. We see them for one scan, and then they're gone. So all along this line, I continue to stress that tornadoes are going to be possible, and in that, we are finding wind gusts to 80 miles per hour. No doubt a lot going on here for tonight. Going through these reports is a difficult task. A lot of reports coming in from you at home as well. Some reports in the eastern side of Rochester, those sirens going off. That threat is now northeast of you and pushing off into portions of Wabasha County. We also had a report from a viewer that Dodge Center, much of it is without power there. Need to be seeking shelter all around in this line currently. So the worst of the conditions right now northeast of Rochester with respect to the tornado. Then we get into northeastern Fillmore County. This will go into Winona County. We're going to carry coverage all the way to the Mississippi River, and then we'll recap what's ahead for the rest of tonight before we break off and prep for what's coming in for ABC 6 at 10 o'clock, Jim.
So I just want to touch base real quick with these wind gusts. I mean, we are now, look at Charles City, Riceville. You know, the storms are exiting the area, but still 55-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Charles City, Rochester International Airport, 46-mile-per-hour gust, still gusting 28 Forest City, 23 in Albert Lee. Now, these are the maximum wind gusts so far. A 77-mile-per-hour gust in Rochester as that line blasted through. Again, 55 in Charles City, a 54-mile-per-hour gust. The maximum so far in Austin. So we're not done yet. We're not in the clear with the storms, especially over southeast Minnesota. I would say the western half of the viewing area, absolutely. I-35 corridor especially. The storms are over. They're out of your vicinity. But, you know, we mentioned, look at just how long these tornado warnings are distance-wise as they continue to race very fast off to the east-northeast between 60 and 70 miles per hour. Chris.
All right, so here's a sample of some of the storm reports that we've seen come through. There's going to be numerous dots that fill in across this map. Notice it's extensive. It's literally everywhere, north, south, east, west at this point. It's going to continue to push northeast for the time. I do want to pass along that we do have team coverage reporters out in the field, and we do have Mackenzie Davis heading out towards Heartland to get us a report from there. If she gets there in time and is able to provide us some real-time live reports, we will certainly bring her into the equation to let you know what is going on. But each of these dots does denote some sort of severe weather. And this is while it's dark, so we know it's significant. It's going to continue for Olmsted County, Fillmore County, even Dodge County as we see the wraparound coming through on this. I'm going to loop this over 15 minutes because I do kind of see a signature for an MCV coming in over Dodge County. As sometimes that can enhance the wind. Well, it doesn't look near as impressive now that I actually see it looping in front of me, but we start to see that curl around. And again, you look at this entire big complex moving through, there's that inflow driving it forward. So we look right at the edge of this bow, and then at that spin too, sometimes we can see some of those spin-up tornadoes, but this is the driving factor for this sector of the storm, and we're especially seeing it pronounced, I believe, on the radar picture as it's analyzed right here over Fillmore County getting into Winona County. So we're going to carry on, I believe, with coverage for probably only about 15, 20 minutes as fast as these storms are moving. About 75, 80 miles per hour we've seen at time. It does look like that we got an update to severe thunderstorm warnings for Houston, Winona, Wabasha County. Just very intense into these areas. Rushford, you need to be seeking shelter right now. Houston, if you're in that area. I'll go ahead and zoom in. St. Charles. You see a lot of these little pockets the spikes, if you will. These are going to be where we're watching for the tornado potential. And then certainly the strong wind intertwined with some of this. And just a quick sample, it's probably not going to be the best. I hope I didn't just select the road. I did. You know, some of these darker blues, they're getting upwards, and I can't get it just right. But it's getting up. You see, once we get into the dark blues there at the top of the screen, getting 60, 70 mile per hour. And this is up in the air, and that can easily come down. Jim?
Yeah, I was just going to pass along real quick. You know, Olmsted County, we are in the clear from that tornado warning, and we just had a report not too long ago. Fillmore County, Spring Valley especially, widespread power outages in the Spring Valley area. So just an indication that wind, again, taking its toll on our power outages across the area. Spencer, yes?
Kind of picking back off of you with power outages, almost all of Mitchell County right now is without power currently from the thunderstorms we've been experiencing. And as for some of these other counties in northern Iowa,
those are some unreal numbers.
Yeah.
They really are. Sorry to interrupt, Spencer, but those are some unreal numbers.
No, it's okay. Yeah, Winnebago over 1,500, Hancock almost 1,000, Worth over 2,000, Cerro Gordo almost over 13,000 people without power. I mean, this is unprecedented, especially for this time of year. Howard approaching 2,000. Like I said, Mitchell County right now, almost everybody in the county currently without power. I'll see if I can get something similar for southern Minnesota and see how it's looking. But so far, Mower County, a little bit over 3,500. Fillmore County, only about 400 outages so far. In Olmsted County, very fastly approaching 3,000.
And we have to remember, these are customers and not necessarily people.
Yeah, right.
And especially on the Minnesota side of things, those numbers will update with time.
Yep.
A lot of places have seen damage. Power crews are going to be working tirelessly, I'm sure, going through the next few days to restore power for those that are out. But we're already, and I'm just doing rough math based on what Spencer just said, we've got to be over 25,000 customers without power.
Approaching
at least,
if not more. The biggest danger right now is pulling out of Olmsted County. I will say this warning is still in place for kind of that wraparound activity, and we'll watch that. But the most intense line of the storms is now actually getting out of the ABC 6 coverage area. We're going to keep it with you given the gravity of the situation a little while longer. Some of you watching us via antenna TV and can still get us as we get out into portions of Winona, Wabasha, and Houston counties. Tornado warning is gone from Olmsted County, but that severe thunderstorm warning will persist. We're seeing the tornado threat get out of Fillmore County too, so this now looks to be more so centered on Winona County with that threat in mind. So all along this line, from Decorah to just east of Rushford, and you get up west of Winona and continuing up towards Red Wing is where the worst of the conditions. Jim, did you have a report?
Yeah, and that tornado warning that's continuing. It's just out of the air for Wabasha, Buffalo. Confirmed tornado located over Plainview.
Okay.
15 miles southwest of Wabasha. So,
right.
you know, just outside the ABC 6 News viewing area. But Plainview, I'll go ahead and kind of center.
You know, that's only 10 miles to the northeast of Rochester.
Right.
So
it was confirmed. It looks like. I don't know if it was from a spotter or who, but still a very, very dangerous situation nonetheless. Spencer, do you have anything?
Yep, I just got another damage report. Apparently a tractor trailer tipped over in a ditch somewhere between Casson and Byron.
Okay, that would be along Highway 14.
Yep. Yeah,
we do have a traffic cam there. Jim, I'll work on getting that up if you want to continue on with the coverage for the time being.
And it looks like they continued the National Weather Service office in La Crosse continued that tornado warning for radar indicated for Fillmore County. Very strong winds still associated with this severe squall line. It's 10 miles southwest. It's near Lewiston, 10 miles southwest in Winona. But it's moving northeast at a very, very extremely fast rate, about 80 miles per hour. So Rushford still under it, but even though I really think the worst of the worst is out of the ABC 6 News viewing area proper. You can see that very distinct sharp cutoff, that sharp line here on the velocity scan, just kind of separating the strongest winds on the leading edge of the storm from the rest. But as we look to the south and west, still dealing with some very colorful images, if you will, on the radar picture. Even though things have settled down, that wind we've been talking about all evening will continue to ramp up behind this system as it departs, especially late tonight heading into early tomorrow morning. So the worst does look like it's now moving out of our area. It's now moving into the Mississippi River Valley areas, bluff country as we call it. So watch out if you have any friends, family, or neighbors from Wabasha to Winona, even getting into the La Crosse area. You might want to give them a call, give them the heads up if they're not weather aware tonight, because they have a significant weather maker on the way for them. Spencer, did you have anything?
I actually just found a report. I just got to find it real quick here. Apparently, we have lots of trees down between Casson and Mantorville on Highway 57. No indication of exactly how many, but between Casson and Mantorville on Highway 57, we
Spencer, I'm going to interrupt you. I'm getting reports that we have, not reports, but reports from the booth saying we have video from Heartland. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. This is the first time I have seen this.
Oh my!
That is,
wow!
That's the Arcadia Bank in downtown. I've been there numerous times. That was significant damage there. If you saw, the bricks tore off the side and top of that building. Significant damage in the town of Heartland. We have Mackenzie Davis headed to that area right now. So this is northwestern Freeborn County. God bless you in Heartland tonight, and so many other places. That video just astoundingly powerful. Tough to watch too, with all the reports of damage. We've been hit hard, friends, with a lot of damage across our area. These are nights that it's hard to stand up here and do what we do. Spencer?
I don't have any new reports at this time, but I want to add, kind of just going off of what you were saying, just especially as somebody who just started his career, because I've only been at the station for almost 6 months now. This is kind of an event that's going to change how I look at both forecasts and everything else, because now it's like you see something like this happening in your area that you're forecasting for. And it's just something that I'm going to be thinking about for a while. Probably going to be one of the biggest events I ever am forecasting for my entire career, and certainly something to change forever. Jim, what are your thoughts so far?
So far, it's certainly a significant a night nonetheless, and it's obviously thoughts and prayers go out to everybody that's been affected by this this very historic storm as it came through. Right now, again, it's nice to see the local area at least kind of getting cleared out of the worst, if you will, from the system. But still watching those tornado warnings very closely across extreme southeast Minnesota from Wabasha to Winona. Again, we're in the clear, but if you have friends or family, you want to give them the lead time, give them the warning if they're not weather aware here tonight. And, just looking at all these reports, certainly a significant night. I personally will for sure never forget. Chris?
Yeah, I want to take a look at the current scene on radar. This is approaching the Mississippi River with those tornado warnings and severe thunderstorm warnings. This over Dodge, Olmsted, and Fillmore County expires in 1 minute now at 8:15. So the threat is beyond there. There will still be some gusty winds, and later tonight there's going to be some gusty winds too. This night's so powerful with so many reports. Spencer has one ready to go. We're going to keep things going through the Mississippi River, Winona, seek shelter, Wabasha, down through Kellogg, and continuing on. This is that area of concern. But you can come out of your safe shelters anywhere in Dodge, Olmsted County, and Fillmore County. Assess if there's any damage to your property, and for sure, if you have something significant to pass along, please do so. We can catch us on social media, also weather at KAAL-TV.com, news at KAAL-TV.com, multiple ways to get information to us. Spencer?
And kind of picking it back off what you're saying, Chris, we obviously do encourage that people send in these photos and videos and stuff of damage and stuff. Just make sure that you are in the clear before you send some of the stuff out and everything, and be careful when you're surveying some of this damage, because we've had numerous reports of trees that have been down, power lines that have been down, and damage to several buildings. So you want to make sure that if you are going to take pictures or video, first of all, make sure that these thunderstorms are out of your area and that it's safe to come out of your safe space before you start surveying a lot of this damage. Secondly, once you do send it in, again, make sure to be careful when you're doing this. A couple more reports, I believe out of Iota, possible tornado, a car moved by some strong winds, and I believe this is out of our area, but Blairstown reporting a 60-mile-an-hour wind gust, and another one it's out of our area in Kirkville, in Wapello County, but 82-mile-per-hour wind gusts being reported
Spencer,
there. So we're still having...
Yeah, it's significant. Out of Rudd, another report, we heard railroad tracks, roofs off the building. The library in Rudd is apparently leveled coming through. That's from a third-party report. Extensive damage in now Rudd and also Heartland and numerous other areas. You see all these dots here denoting significant wind primarily, or measured winds or reports of damage. Anywhere you see the blue is a report of either a measured or estimated wind gust, and any of kind of these two-toned circles that you see right here does denote damage. Near Mitchell, this one I remember is barns flattened there. Rudd, that would be right here. That's where we've gotten multiple reports of some damage. Heartland, of course, we get right up here. Most recent. A very significant night has just rolled through our region. Spencer, you have something for us?
A couple more reports I want to add. This is associated with that tornado warning that we were watching earlier in Plainview. An 85-mile-per-hour wind gust being reported. Spring Valley and Wyckoff, massive power outages there. Preston, also significant power outages. We have roof damage in southwest Austin. Cannot confirm what building it is exactly, but still going to be wanting to watch for that. And like I said earlier, if you have photos or video of this stuff you want to share, feel free to email it to us or send it to us. Just again, make sure that these thunderstorms are out of your area, because we're still experiencing, there's still plenty of areas where we're seeing heavy rain, although most of the worst of it is out of our area altogether.
That is correct. And, you know, we're not done for the night, too. No. I want to reiterate that, we still have a long night ahead with just ambient wind coming through. Brownsdale is without power, that coming in with a report. I have a picture of a trampoline being tossed out of Leroy, and that's up against a camper. It's crumpled up. These all coming in from viewer reports from you at home. Thank you very much for everyone that is relaying information. Of course, that video out of Heartland, can we re-roll that again while I get set up and take a look? And I want to give credit to Lisa for sharing that video with us. This is damage to the Heartland Bank. You can see brick walls destroyed across the building, more walls being destroyed, and debris literally everywhere in the streets there. Sounds like we have a significant wind event, if not tornado, that went through Heartland. I just want to tell the producers in the back that there's also some other compelling video that just came in on the ABC6 Facebook messaging. If you want to take a look at that and possibly get that queued up. But tonight is one we're going to remember for quite a while. I want to take a moment here and look ahead to what we have now that that severe threat is largely out of the ABC6 area. That line of storms now near the Mississippi River Valley and gets out of our ABC6 coverage area. From here on out, here's what we start to deal with. Someday my computer will catch up to me, but we're going to be dealing with significant winds for tonight. We do have a high wind warning in place. So what we're looking at is after this line of storms, we get the drier air component of the atmosphere to cycle through on the backside of this entire system. And the way the scenario is structured tonight, it is favorable to pull some of the stronger winds down to the surface yet again. Now, it's not going to be as violent or turbulent going forward like it was in those intense thunderstorms. But we will still have some of those wind gusts come up, and they may be in excess of 60 to 65 miles per hour. I believe the likely time frame to watch this as we get a look, and don't get too scared about that 80 in Albert Lee. This is in the past and that line of storms. That's showing the potential that certainly moved through. But watch here after this lull. We're clearly in a lull in the action as we're approaching 8:30 now. You look at the data, it's going to cycle in some more tonight overnight. This is that drier air starting to take over. And these are future predicted wind gusts. It's not going to be sustained all the time at 55, 60 miles per hour. You don't need to be scared about that, but we're going to have pulses, and this is very difficult to track. We don't have any tools at our disposal other than watching the observations for the wind gusts or spotters out in the field measuring those wind gusts. We can't track it like we can a storm on radar, but overnight, I'd say anywhere from 10 o'clock through 3 o'clock in the morning, some of those wind gusts are going to be up there around 55, 60 miles per hour. They're going to be out of the west. High-profile vehicles need to be on alert. Once again, to you at home, what this means for you is the possibility that some more trees to see some damage. Perhaps your home being shingles and activity gets ripped up. So still some more things. Trampolines that aren't down in the ground, those are going to be tossed. Things like that. That's the way it looks as we go through the overnight. A lot of reports that have come through. So many with some damage. Jim has kind of a synopsis on that right now.
Yeah, and you know, I just highlighted, these are just the reports
These are
known
known.
right now. These are the known reports. 46, and remember, folks, this is December 15th. We were calling for the wind potential, and boy, that was that certainly came through, unfortunately for us. A funnel cloud, one report, a funnel cloud, one report of a tornado at least. And obviously, we're going to have not only our ABC6 news crews, but the National Weather Service officials will be going likely to Rudd, to Heartland to survey the damage there once that sun comes up. So let's go ahead and just take a look real quick at just some of these reports across southern Minnesota. Just to recap it, first started out near southwestern Freeborn County. We had the very strong wind reported that way, and also across, say, Casson, saw some very strong wind gusts. I'm trying to get my tool to populate here for us. There we go. 60-mile-per-hour wind gust. That was in Conger. And then the Rochester International Airport saw a very strong gust. This one was listed at 60 around 8 o'clock this evening. Then also north central Iowa. Again, we're going to be watching for the damage reports coming out of, say, Floyd County more and more, and even near the Cresco area once that sun comes up. So please, we really can't stress it enough. You know, the sun, it's still dark out. It's going to stay dark out. That wind, like Chris mentioned, is going to ramp up as the night goes on. We could see some more damage post-storm, and that is something that we had anticipated going into tonight. So please heed that high wind warning as well. Even if you're just, say, a commuter, tomorrow morning's commute is going to be extremely windy, even for your typical vehicle, say your sedan or even a pickup truck. So be careful with that and allow extra time going to and from your destinations tomorrow morning. And in comments regarding the damage, stay away from these damaged areas because you saw that bank, all the loose bricks and whatnot. This strong wind could also do a number on some damaged areas already. Spencer, do you have anything to add?
I don't have necessarily any reports to add, but one thing I do want to add is if you're going to be driving out tonight, you're still going to want to give yourself some extra time, some extra room and stuff because visibility still not necessarily the greatest, especially along the eastern counties still. You can still see a little bit of light rain over near Preston and still picking up just a little bit near Rochester. The biggest thing, though, is, again, you're going to want to drive a little bit slower because of what a lot of Jim and Chris have already been talking about, and that's that with some of those damage reports. And this is only the ones that have already been reported. There's likely still plenty of other areas where we could have trees that are down, power lines that are down, and so many other things that have not been reported yet. And some of this might not even be reported until sunrise. So this is going to be something to watch out for if you're going to be commuting the rest of this evening. Let's say you were somebody who wasn't able to commute because you had to be off work. Chris, you had something you wanted to add?
Well, I was just going to kind of recap a little bit. And now probably is not the time to head out and take a look at the damage. And I know that's a busy map. I'll get that off screen. But coming in out of the Des Moines International Airport, you see there's no storm. 71-mile-per-hour wind gusts just reported down there. So that's the potency of the winds that we're dealing with on the backside overnight. Again, I believe about 10 o'clock through the strongest is going to be around midnight, and then through 3 o'clock in the morning, those ambient winds are going to be ripe and ripping through the region. Jim, then we'll go to Spencer.
I believe we have some video coming in now. This is at Southeast Rochester. Watch this patio furniture just being tossed around, going through. I think they said their screen, and it's gone. So just remember, and that was right around that tornado-warned area. Southeast Rochester wasn't officially in it, but it was very, very close to that tornado-warned polygon as that very intense line of wind was coming through Olmsted County. So again, just an indication of how strong that wind was, even in the Rochester area. So the good news is the storms are clearing, but again, like we've been just kind of stressing, even though we're in the clear for the severe threats, that high wind will certainly cause some issues heading into tomorrow. Spencer, what do you have?
I actually, if you want to get the scan converter back up, I actually have a couple photos from one of our ABC 6 News weather spotters of a tree, about a third of a tree knocked down, a good 8 to 10 inches in diameter. The thing actually landed northwest. Now, a little bit of debris actually landed northwest of the tree, kind of like what you're seeing there. There's another tree that's also down.
This is out of Austin.
Yeah, this is out of Austin. And let me just double check what I'm facing here. Facing west with the top facing east. So what really just kind of ripped that tree out and everything. Again, Austin, we've had reports of some wind speeds approaching 60, 70 miles an hour with some of those wind gusts. And again, that tree about 8 to 10 inches in diameter. So this is not like some super small tree or anything like that or whatever. This just goes to show some of the significance that we're seeing, and reports still coming out as the night goes on. Jim?
Yes, I just have a report of a semi being blown over on Highway 14, I believe, in Byron. One of our coworkers here had passed that report to me. Chris?
Report, and I see video. There's a house fully engulfed in flames in Albert Lee. I believe it's on Adams Avenue. I'll try to get that video to you. I'm not in a position to show it to you at this moment, but the transformer sparking and arcing, the house is fully engulfed. I do have a report from a viewer saying, simply put, Heartland is destroyed, and we have heard some unconfirmed reports from other people saying there's some significant damage in that area. So we're starting to run into the aftermath of what's transpired here tonight. Significant. We have staff all across the area. There's so much to observe and take in. Tonight, just certainly a historic night that unfolded, Spencer.
Couple reports. These are out of our area in Winona, but still something I want to report just because of how close they are. Power pole completely broken. Again, the semi-truck that was blown over on I-90. This is at mile marker 252, and still more power outages being reported in the Winona area. I mean, it just continues. And again, keep in mind, while most of the thunderstorms are out of the area, we still have some of those sustained wind speeds that Jim and Chris have been talking about that are still expected to last throughout the overnight.
Yeah, a lot of information coming in, trying to pass along some reports to our newsroom. That's
Same here. I just got video of that semi in Byron. Trying to get that to news as well.
Yeah, and we'll try to queue some of this up for you if we have enough time at our disposal. But you know, I'll just say this would be a significant event if this was in the summer and we're in December. So much damage across our area. So many reports and pictures coming in right now. Seems like every minute we're getting a report from our viewers coming in from all across the area. I will say the severe storm threat locally is done. We do have some trailing rain in here out towards the Mississippi rivers where the concern is moving off into Wisconsin now, out of Decorah into Allamakee County. And so the storms are done, but again, as I mentioned, we're just not done with things right now. Spencer wants to recap some of the power outages that we have across the region.
Yeah,
Spencer.
I have a couple. I have some updates. If you want to get the scan converters already up, that's perfect. Howard County now, really a big jump in amount of power outages. And keep in mind, this is not just like individual people out of power. This is like households out of power, customers out of power. So 4,500 in Howard County. It went up in Chickasaw as well, over 1,000. Floyd's at about 1,500. Cerro Gordo approaching 14,000. Keep in mind, you've got Mason City, Clear Lake, just name a couple cities there. Worth is now over 2,000. Winnebago and Hancock also jumping as well. And we're starting to see more of them coming into Minnesota as well. Mower County's approaching 4,000. A lot of those outages likely out of Austin. Been seeing a lot of people flooding our live stream on Facebook with outages occurring in Austin. Dodge County also over 3,500. Olmsted now starting to come in a lot at approaching 6,000 outages, and Fillmore just over 1,600. So a big jump. A lot of those Minnesota power outages starting to come in with that thunderstorm moving through. And keep in mind, we're not, again, as we've said before, we're not done just yet. We still have those ambient wind speeds, those big wind gusts approaching 60 miles per hour that we're still going to be watching for, that could give us even more damage on top of what we already have. Do either of you, Chris or Jim, have anything else you'd like to add or report?
Not really at this point.
We're just going through
Yeah.
all of these reports. Dexter has no power right now. It's been about 30 minutes, and that was as of 8:25. So significant there. Yeah, we have Rudd that was extremely difficult.
Yep.
And Heartland, and unconfirmed report. And what I mean by that is I don't have any pictures or specific reports to pass along, but it sounds like Hayward in Freeborn County took some significant damage, numerous communities out there. So we're going to continue to monitor the reports that are coming in. And for now, those storms continue to push off to our east and out of our vicinity. So now we're going to translate into watching those winds that are expected later for tonight. We're going to wrap up our coverage here on ABC 6. We're going to regroup and put together some of the storm content for you and join you back here on ABC 6 at 10 o'clock. For now, the winds have died down, but they will be returning through the overnight. We do have a high wind warning that is in place for all of our area, especially between, I'd say, 10 o'clock and 3 o'clock in the morning. We're going to have that potential to see those winds surge upwards once again, conceivably as high as 55 or 65 miles per hour. It has been a difficult night, a lot of damage inflicted across our area, and we hope that everyone is safe. We'll send it back to programming. We'll see you back here on ABC 6 at 10.